Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it is time for my May plan with me, and as I promised at the end of my Q2 plan with me, I was going to show you guys the end of Q1 like officially. So this is going to definitely have a chatty start as I kind of fill you in on things that happened, and then we will jump into May. So first up, let's take a look at the end of this. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys March. I'll show you my March reflection and my end of Q1 reflection. So here, this is all up to date, filled out. And you'll see here I have my reflection. So I made some progress on everything. I've kind of changed. So I think the first month that I did this, I basically did I finish all the things that I wanted to do this month? Like that would give me 100%. Whereas now I'm trying to do it as how far in the actual project am I? So that's why these are gonna look a little bit different from, for example, January versus this. So you'll see here like catching up on work and YouTube backlog. I did all that I had planned to do that month. And I did some of what I had planned to do for admin, whereas now I have, you know, the font, for example, I'm only at about 1/3 of the way through. So that's why those look a little bit different. Then let's take a look. So these you guys have all seen. I'm gonna go ahead and show you my quarterly reflection. So I had my check-in kind of here. I had a couple of highlights. I decided I didn't need to write in all of them, so I just didn't. Because I have the highlights that I did on like the weeklies, and so I just sort of picked the top highlights from the last 3 months. Not necessarily even in terms of like stuff I got done, but just like general stuff, which I probably should do that differently, but anyway. So I have my 3 achievements. So I kept up with YouTube, I budgeted my move really well, actually within my budget, and I was better at cleaning and my lesson prep routines, so that was good. 3 things that I want to improve are stop putting off the annoying tasks, get 8 hours of sleep every night. So I'm pretty good about that, but like I have a couple things I can work on. And I want to re-implement my morning routine. Then 3 actions that I need to take. I need to finish my meditation, so my evening meditation by 9:15 or 9:30 p.m. so I can make sure that I get to bed on time. So that's gonna help me with my 8 hours of sleep. I need to just get it done with and set up my LLC, so that's one of my annoying tasks, and I need to decide on Korea, which I actually did do. So that is fantastic. So that is kind of the end of my Q1 wrap up. Let's go ahead, I will show you, since we're in the PROJO, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I've set up in here and show you sort of the end of April, which I'm currently filming this on April 18th. So as always, I'm not gonna have the entire end of the month. So we'll just kind of go through what I have. So I have set up my index for at least April and May. I didn't actually do any of the rest, and I don't even have all of the weeklies in May set up yet. We'll get there. One of the things that I did while I was in Seattle was update my 2019 goals. So it doesn't probably look very different to you guys, but I actually did take out things that I had finished. So you'll notice here I had a bunch of stuff, like the move was basically done. I had started going through some stuff here. You know, I started working on different things here. So I took this, I actually thankfully had a picture on Instagram, so I was able to update based on that. So I took anything that I had finished here and I went ahead and updated over here, and I have added in a couple of like more details on sections that I had done part of it but not all of it, so I added in more detail. So for example, I ended up booking my flight to Korea, which means that I still have to save money and I need to do my research, but I didn't need to have, you know, book my flights and my hotel because that's done. I don't have my moving goal over here anymore because I moved, I'm done with that, but I do still want to upgrade my internet to fiber. And you know, so as you can see, it's all the same things as the first one, except for I've taken out anything that's a completed task, so I can see still what I've got left to do. I have my Q2 set up, which you guys have seen, so you'll see here I've already crossed off my decide on Korea. And I've added, so this was actually all I had initially, but once I decided, yes, I'm going, I then added, okay, what are my next steps? So study Korean and research food and stationery. Obviously some other things, but those are kind of priorities. I did start filling in my goals roadmap. I just picked a couple of things that I want to work on. I do still have one left over, but for now I'm gonna leave it with this. And still have not done my projects timeline. So here is April. So you guys can see here, I'm all the way filled up to today, which is the 18th. And the reason I'm filming this now is because I'm hoping to get this up for you guys this weekend. And yeah, it's kind of going. Obviously I was on I was away for a little over a week, so I haven't made a ton of progress here yet, but I do still have a little bit less than half the month, so I'm gonna work on it. We're gonna see how it goes. I also have my school stuff, obviously since I was gone for a little over a week and things were kind of crazy before I left. I haven't gotten as far as maybe I would have liked, but it's always there. We're just gonna keep working on it. And then we have weeklies. So here was my first weekly in this particular Projo. So you'll notice I had a couple of things that got forwarded, or that got migrated rather. And then this was while I was actually on holiday, so none of it, you'll notice nothing is in brown except for the fact that I was in Seattle. So I did sort of kind of generally keep track while I was in Seattle. I did not fill it in my Google Calendar just because the time difference, I didn't want it to get screwy or anything, but I did fill it in here. So because one of the things is I didn't bring my sum lines a day, so I actually still need to go back through and fill in my sum lines a day for all the days that I was in Seattle. And so this is gonna really help me kind of do an overview of the day. I really kept it minimal, and you'll notice I migrated both of those tasks. I had a little thing for my language log because I also did not bring that. I was really trying to travel light. So this I've actually updated, so we're all set on that. And then I had a couple of tasks, a number of things got migrated. This is this week. So while I was in Seattle, I actually did try and kind of block out the rest of my weekend because I go back to work on Tuesday. So I wanted to see how I could make the best use of time that I could. I need to go back through and kind of fill this in, but I'm at least like kind of filled in up to yesterday. And I'm gonna be working on this stuff. I've got a couple of things I've been working on here. I have to fill in, I've been working on some stuff today, so I just have to kind of fill this in. And I also had a little note because I wanna work on my morning routine. So I have my Thursday through Sunday morning, which I didn't actually do it this morning, but so be it. This is just kind of like an ideal, so we'll see what I get to. And then I have started filling in a couple of following weeks just to kind of get my brain like wrapped around. We've got like holidays coming up. I have special things I have to do for work that are gonna change my schedule. So I just wanted to start getting some of that on paper. Other than that, I'll do a quick flip through in here. So I think that, so first off, I have added, I love this top 5 goals for 2019, so I decided that I want to do that again for next year. So I've actually made a little note down here for my top 5. Got one on there already. Then let's see, what is new that I've been working on? I think back here. So yes, so new stuff that I've been working on. You guys will see a video. I'm working on a spending ban challenge, so I have some spreads setting those up. You'll get a video about that, don't worry. I had some self-care ideas. I have some ideas because I want to take a trip to Amsterdam at some point soon, just a couple of days. I have stuff for sewing. You will also see videos on these soon. This is for May. You'll see that in just a second. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and bookmark that so we can come back to it. Ideas for Korea, more kind of project stuff. So as you can see, I do have some collections in here. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because you're gonna see I don't really have any collections in my bullet journal aside from I think 2. So let's take a look at April in my bullet journal. So somewhere also, I would just like to point out that I am officially done with 1 goal for 2019 and I'm halfway through 3 of them and partially through the 5th. So pretty good. It is only like end of April. So anyway, sorry, side note there. So this is the end of March. So here we go. Here we have April, my color explosion, which I still kind of love. And we've got here, so you'll notice I'm basically up to today. These will get migrated to May. Still working on these tasks. These are things that I'm hoping to get done for the end of the month. If not, they'll get migrated. We'll see how that goes. Got my tracker. You'll notice this is basically while I was in Seattle, and I definitely did not do all of my normal routine stuff, but that's kind of to be expected. So I'll fill in my review later. I did get a fair amount of reading done. I've gotten 4 books read this month already, which is awesome. Got my gratitude, still working on that. Brain dump, I've got a couple of things that I'm working on. Definitely need to work on that a little bit more. Then all of my trip planning spreads. Oh, I lied. I do have more spreads in this one, but you'll see. So pre-trip tasks, I'm actually super proud of myself. I only had to migrate 3 things, and I've already started filling out a fair number of stuff on the post-trip tasks. I'm gonna be working my way through it, but this was literally like, this will take me several days kind of thing. So we're making good progress. I've got my trip information. I kept up a little itinerary as well, just kind of like generally what we did, not like the detailed in my Projo. Got my packing list. And then I have my dailies, and you'll notice that I got an entire week on a page, or on a spread rather. I have the week that I was traveling also on a spread. These were the two spreads I was actually thinking about. You'll see these and you'll get the explanation of them in my Spending Man video. That'll be coming at some point. And this week, so you guys can tell I actually need to fill in here. It's been kind of a busy morning. I just haven't had a chance to fill in for Tuesday. So you'll notice that I've got Thursday right below Wednesday, and that I've actually already got my little cook checklist over here. So this is going to be one of the changes for May, where I'm actually going to, I think, stop journaling in my dailies, but I'm going to explain that in a second. So I have left, so we're 15th through 21st, which means I have one more week left in April. I have Thursday up to here, so I'm gonna leave this page and one more spread for next week. And we'll see, you know, if I end up running out of space or whatever, we'll see if I need to use this extra page for something else. I'll find out. And then this is going to be the start of May, and you'll notice that I've done very little penciling in. I just wrote a little note here that is May. I made my tick marks for my monthly, and I did the left side of the outline for my tracker. And that's basically all of the like pre-setup I've done in my bujo. So let's take a look at my prep spreads in here, which I bookmarked. There we go. This is the page that I did with my ideas for May. So I needed to show the quarter one reflection in my Projo, which you guys have seen, excellent. So in my bullet journal, I have my quote and intro page, and I chose the quote, "May the sun ignite 1,000 fires in your heart to give you the strength for the day ahead." Anthony T. Hinks. So I thought that was a nice quote. I know it's not necessarily related to May, but I just really like that one. Actually, it starts with the word May, which is, I think, how Goodreads sort of categorized that section, because I was like, oh, May quotes, and I got a bunch that just used the word May, like, may you do this, and I was like, not exactly the same thing, but that's fine. Anyway, I have my monthly log and tasks. I wrote a little reminder that May is 31 days, so I didn't accidentally cut off a day. I have my tracker and reading, which is going to be all the same, except that I'm going to add in the AM section that I want to journal, and I'm going to add in the week section that I want to do my passion project using the shorthand S for sewing, F for font, and K for Korean. So I'm going to add those in, and I'll kind of explain those maybe a little bit more in depth in a bit. Then I've also decided I'm not going to add a gratitude or a brain dump page. I'm going to keep using the brain dump page for April, and I'm going to put gratitude more in journaling. I also need to do my Projo setup, so I started kind of down here with some ideas for my key projects for my Projo. So I've currently got two that I've decided on. So I have Passion Project, so I want to try and get half of my alphabet for the font prepped in Illustrator. I need to buy sewing stuff. I've actually already started doing that. I want to make at least one thing on my sewing machine, and I want to do about 15 Talk to Me in Korean lessons, which that's kind of a aim high goal, but I think I can do it. I also, for social media, I need to work on my YouTube backlog. I need to brainstorm blog and video ideas. I would like to do a premiere, and I want to do 2 series pages on my website. And like I said, I haven't quite figured out that third one. We're gonna work on it. This, I think I'm gonna save and see if I don't finish anything from this month, maybe that's what it'll be. I also have my May goals. So I'm kind of thinking how I want to do, so I have up here to create a tracker. I'm kind of thinking how I want to do this, but I have a couple of goals that I want to work on. So I want to floss every day, which I have been doing that. I missed a couple of days while I was in Seattle, but otherwise I have been doing that. So I want to like make that a do this every day in May kind of thing. I would like to journal every day, which is why I have no journaling in my bullet journal. So I want to just have dailies in my bullet journal, and I think I'm going to end up doing sort of 2 columns. I'm also going to then add in like maybe a sentence for gratitude or something like that, but in my journal. I want to work on one of my 3 passion projects 5 days a week. So, you know, even if one morning I only work on one of them, that counts, but I want to do it 5 days a week. I want to go to bar 1 time a week because I was not great about that in possibly March, but definitely in April. Like March and April was a little iffy with work, so I want to really make an effort to go every single week. I want to go through and do a stationery purge and figure out, you know, giving it away, or I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I want to work on a general declutter. So those are sort of my goals for the month. And yeah, we are gonna see how it goes. So you guys are gonna find out. This is going to be another super short time lapse, probably. We'll see how it goes, because I am cutting out an entire spread of pages from my May setup. So this is definitely gonna be another super chatty video, but it is what it is. So what I think I'm gonna do is go ahead and time lapse you guys. I'm gonna set up in my bullet journal and in my PROJO, and I'm gonna kind of go through and I'll explain some of the changes after. So I will see you guys on the other side. so there is May set up. Let's go ahead and go through. I realized actually that I forgot to tell you guys what pens I was using. So you guys can probably tell my two colors, but I'll go ahead and like tell you the names and or the numbers rather. So I used this teal 373 and this kind of purpley gray and 60 for my two colors. I also used in various spreads, so you guys know already probably I used these two pens for my PROJO. So this is a 0.3 Sarasa clip and this is a Coletto, and I have an eraser, mechanical pencil, black ink, and brown ink in here. I also used this HI-TEC-C. It is a 0.3. I've been using this as my everyday writer, and I also use this for the numbers on my tracker and on my monthly log. I used a gray Staedtler fine liner for doing the days of the week. I used the gray 0.38 Uniball Signo for my legends and stuff, and then you guys know I always use this to clean up any pencil marks, which I did here and then didn't on any of the other spreads because I think the Tombows actually kind of covered it. So let's take a look at what is going on in here. I decided I was just gonna go kind of simple with the writing style, so I used just the two colors sort of alternating, and I picked a couple of words that I wanted to pick out. Also, because I just kind of went in, I didn't actually center it, so instead of trying to cram in the name at the bottom, I just went ahead and put it up at the top. Then I moved up May 2019 because I wanted to have those goals on this page. I decided that I wanted to do them in here. These are going to be different from my tasks because these are things that I've they're sort of habity, and some of them are kind of task-like, but they're not really tasks. I try and save the tasks for like admin kind of stuff that I just like need to get done. So these are just, I don't know, somehow different in my brain. So I have floss daily, journal daily, passion project 5 times a week, bar 1 time a week, so that's my exercise class, stationery purge, and declutter. So obviously these 4 here, I won't be able to fill in until the end of the month, but these 2 I can fill in if they finish them during the month. So we'll see how this goes. I'm trying it for May, why not? Then I've got my monthly and tasks. So just did quick little May right there. I've got June down here, so I don't have anything filled in right now. I'll have to go through and kind of do that. But obviously I will work on this and then it'll fill up during the month. I have my tasks. Again, as always, I'm gonna wait until the end of April to figure out what I haven't actually done and migrate those over and or decide on new tasks as needed. 6 seems to be a pretty good number. It's not too many, but it's not too few that I feel like I'm not doing anything. So we'll see how that goes. Then probably aside from that May goal on my intro page, or the May goals on my intro page, I think this is probably where I've made the most changes, and it's not even that much. So what I've done is I have added in 2 things. So when I was actually going through and kind of figuring out how to set up this spread, I wanted to leave this much space down here. So I essentially just like started at the same point, but went up 2 more squares. So it's actually 2 taller than the month before, which I can show you. So here. So you'll see that is just 2 taller, so I just have less space for the header up here, but I have plenty of space to add in even potentially 2 more things if I really wanted to. So I've added in passion project down here, and I've added, so I decided that with some of the things I have in here, I really didn't need them in this legend for other. I am keeping everything for skincare, so these are all of the different products that I can potentially use, and I only ever label them if it's in the evening, even though I do, for example, in my morning routine, I pretty much always use niacinamide. But I basically do the same thing every morning, so I don't actually write that in there. It's really just for the evening. So this stayed exactly the same. But this one I decided I had some things I didn't really need to have in there. So to give you an idea, I had, TV is the number of hours, dishes, sink empty by bed, and then I had this stuff. So actually pretty much all of this, minus the breathe and meditate, has come in because I realized I, at this point, have kind of set this habit where I do the breathing in the morning and meditate at night. So I don't need to have a code for that because they're split out by morning and evening. I don't need to do the dishes and the TV. I've been doing those long enough. I know what those mean if I do them. So I did keep for exercise, and actually I should have done this one up here next to the exercise. So I have B for bar, LDT for lazy dancer tips. You'll notice this one hasn't shown up like pretty much ever. I don't do it that often. I should probably just take it off. But anyway, I also have for my passion project, I have the F for font, S for sewing, K for Korean. And then for cleaning, I have these different codes, and actually cleaning and washing stuff. So I have D for dust, S for Swiffer, V for vacuum, B for bathroom, C for change, and W for wash. So for example, sometimes I change my sheets, but I don't wash them immediately. So I just kind of note when I do that. So I decided that, you know, I kind of went through everything. I was like, really the only thing that I need to know what the code stands for is really on this week section. Everything else, aside from like TV, is usually just like a dot, or it's the skincare code. So I revamped this a little bit so that it was a little bit simpler and a little bit more clear. It's really not like explanations, it's just what do these letters stand for, like based on these things. So hopefully that'll work out. Otherwise, I didn't really change anything in here. You guys will notice this is a super short month. Like it's 3 full spreads and only 2 of them, well actually no, 3 of them now have information, because I do actually have information up here. But I decided that I was gonna go ahead and take out my gratitude and my brain dump. So what I'm gonna do is once I finish this post-trip task list, I will go ahead and put the tab on the brain dump, and I still have some space on here, and I'll just hold on to this. If I need a new one, then I'll make a new one, but I decided it was kind of a waste of a page to do it in the front of my monthly here. Also, I've been doing gratitude the same way for a couple of months, so I decided I wanted to switch it up. I've actually been using a DINGBATS notebook as my morning pages, and I think I'm going to sort of declassify it as morning pages and reclassify it as a journal. And then if I do morning pages, then that's great, but otherwise I'm just going to, my goal is to journal every day. And I might even, before I go back into that one, I might actually work on filling up this one because I started it while I was on my trip. I didn't want to bring a big notebook, but I did want to have a journal, so I ended up getting this. So I might work on filling this up and then move back into the DINGBATS. So that is going to be where I do, you know, if I do any sort of gratitude, I want to journal in the morning. So whether that means 5 minutes journaling what happened the night before or whatever, or 30 minutes of morning pages, whatever that means, I want to do something in that journal every single day. So that's kind of why I don't have this spread there anymore. Otherwise, this hasn't changed much. Let's take a look in my PROJO. So PROJO, as always, is a really quick setup. So basically when I set up my monthly, all I do is I write in the month, I make a column for YouTube, I start in pencil on the Sunday, and I actually go through and I do this like kind of darker line in pen between Sunday and Monday, so I have the start of all my weeks. We have 2 days off in May, so I went ahead and put those in there. I could have put them in on my bullet journal, but I actually just didn't think about it when I was doing that. And that's kind of where I leave it. So I will fill this in as I go throughout the month, and I'll go through my YouTube planning and put in the videos that I want to do for May. So that is for the calendar, like monthly side. I have my passion projects. I need to kind of figure out what my goals are in here, because these are sort of like general, like a lot of my projects are just really sort of ongoing things. It's not necessarily something that has like a fixed start and finish, or if it does, it makes up 1 or 2 tasks in a larger kind of general goal. So I have to figure out how I want to fill those in. But I ended up, let's see, oh, this one. So when I was setting up my ideas for May, I wasn't sure how soon I was going to actually buy sewing stuff, and I literally like wrote it in and was like, wait a minute, I've bought all this stuff. I'm like, by the time May comes, I'm gonna have everything. So I went ahead and took that out and just added, you know, moved up sew one thing. So I have the other ones that I had planned on, and I've got 2 blank ones that I will hopefully fill in with something. I just don't know yet what that's gonna be. Then I've got my YouTube backlog. I pretty much always say I wanna do 5 videos for the YouTube backlog, just to kind of keep about like half a month to a month in advance. So all of these were the ones that I had on my list, and I went ahead and just did the check boxes for all of them. I usually end up filling it up with something. It's just I might not yet know what that's going to be because we're still in April. And I've left this one blank because obviously I don't yet know what that's gonna be, and didn't set anything up in here. I'm gonna kind of see how far ahead I get, but I'll end up probably doing this for school as I always do, because I find that to be just a really helpful page to have where it kind of lays out what I need to work on next, sort of thing. So that is May. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know that the time lapse was maybe a little bit short, but I've really been playing around with, you know, since I am using the PROJO, how can I best use my bullet journal? What's gonna make the most sense and that kind of stuff. So I tend to not have like large changes that I make month to month, but I'm hoping that some of these smaller changes will kind of help me work towards more productivity so that I am using my time well and being able to do all of the projects that I would like to actually work on. So I know that this is maybe not, you know, the most exciting plan with me, but this is how I actually plan. This is how I've been trying to make things work and trying to improve my time management and all of that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys have gotten something out of it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!